Prince Harry dragged out of High Court hearing by bodyguards after disruption. What really happened? When you think of the royal family, you might picture grand palaces, designer suits, and impeccable poise. But what if we told you that one of the most recognizable faces in the world was recently yanked out of a high-profile court hearing? Prince Harry's security has always been a hot topic, but the real drama unfolded today inside the High Court, where Harry was unexpectedly escorted out amid a bizarre disruption. But what caused the chaos, and how did it all unfold? Let's take a deeper dive into this gripping moment that no one saw coming. A tense moment in the High Court, a royal's unexpected exit. It was a quiet day at the High Court until it wasn't. The room, filled with an air of anticipation, suddenly turned electric with tension. Prince Harry, always under a microscope, had arrived for a critical hearing regarding his security arrangements. As the world's press watched on, all eyes were on him. However, it wasn't Harry's testimony or the legal arguments that stole the spotlight. It was a disruptive scene involving a lone figure in the public gallery. Imagine being in a courtroom, silent, tense, and professional. Then, out of nowhere, a small disturbance. A woman, seemingly out of place, starts shifting in her seat repeatedly, her eyes darting from her phone to a notebook, all while trying to remain inconspicuous. Who was she? And why was she making such a fuss during such a crucial moment? It didn't take long for her behavior to attract attention, and when it did, it quickly escalated. What followed was something that even the seasoned bodyguards assigned to Prince Harry were not prepared for. Before anyone could blink, Harry was swiftly shielded by his burly bodyguards and escorted out of the courtroom. But this wasn't your typical disruption. This was a moment that would have anyone wondering, what exactly happened behind those closed courtroom doors? Who was the woman, and why did she cause such a stir? The woman at the center of this drama wasn't just an ordinary spectator. Described as a diminutive, shaven-headed black woman in her 50s, she made an impression the moment she entered the public gallery. She was late to the hearing, which in itself is enough to turn heads in a room that prides itself on punctuality and decorum. But it wasn't just her timing that raised eyebrows, it was her erratic behavior. Shifting restlessly in her seat, fidgeting with two phones, and jotting down notes frantically in her notebook, she appeared to be a person who couldn't quite contain her anxiety. Perhaps she was a passionate supporter of Prince Harry? Or maybe there was more to this than meets the eye. Her discomfort in the room was palpable, and it didn't take long for people to take notice. As the minutes ticked by, it became clear that something was off. The security team, ever watchful and experienced, quickly caught on to her behavior. The tension in the room grew, and before long, things started to spiral out of control. The next moment, the royal bodyguards intervened, swiftly and decisively. The moment of disruption, an unexpected turn of events. Let's set the scene. The courtroom, a solemn place of justice, suddenly erupted into chaos. Prince Harry, sitting quietly, surely lost in the gravity of the hearing, was suddenly the center of attention, not because of his testimony, but because of the woman's bizarre behavior. It all happened so quickly. She was asked to leave, but before that could even happen, the situation escalated further. The bodyguards sprang into action, positioning themselves around Prince Harry, guiding him through the crowd, and ushering him out of the room in an orderly but hurried fashion. What could have been a minor disturbance had now turned into a spectacle. Harry, known for his calm demeanor in the face of the media storm, was visibly taken aback. But in moments like these, security doesn't leave things to chance. What struck people the most about this incident was not the bodyguard's swift action, but how Harry was shielded from the very drama that unfolded around him. His security team made sure that he didn't have to endure any unnecessary public stress, reminding everyone that no matter how famous you are, your safety and well-being are always the priority. Why was Prince Harry's security under the microscope? You might be wondering, why was this hearing so important to begin with? What was all the fuss about? The answer lies in the very thing that has made headlines for years: Prince Harry's security arrangements. For a member of the royal family who no longer has official duties, security has been an ongoing issue. Back in 2020, When Harry and Meghan Markle decided to step back from their royal duties, a ripple effect was felt all across the globe. Not only did it mean more privacy, but it also meant navigating the complexities of royal security arrangements. These arrangements, once handled by the British government, would now have to be funded privately. But what happens when your personal safety becomes a matter of public concern? The legal proceedings surrounding Harry's security arrangements have been a point of contention, as he has requested to pay for his own security while still having access to the level of protection that comes with being a high-profile royal. This hearing, then, wasn't just about a routine legal matter. It was about ensuring that the safety of a prince, living in the public eye, was handled properly. What can we learn from the incident? The real takeaway. So, what's the takeaway from today's dramatic courtroom drama? First and foremost, it's a stark reminder of the weight of fame and the unique challenges that come with it. For Prince Harry, every public appearance is loaded with security risks. For us, the viewers, it's a fascinating glimpse into the chaos that can arise from an otherwise ordinary day in court. And let's not forget the lesson in how to handle distractions. Whether you're a royal or just an everyday person navigating a stressful situation, staying calm under pressure is vital. Harry's ability to remain composed in the face of all the surrounding chaos is a testament to how one can still maintain dignity, even when the situation is out of their control. The true message here? Even the smallest disruptions can create monumental moments in a public figure's life. And while we may not be followed by bodyguards or involved in royal hearings, we all have our moments of disruption to deal with in our own ways. Handling those moments with grace and poise, no matter how chaotic, might just be the best lesson we can all take from this story. What's next for Prince Harry? While this hearing might be behind him, the questions around Harry's security and his life outside the royal family are far from over. As Prince Harry continues to navigate the challenges of life in the spotlight, one thing is clear: nothing is ever as simple as it seems. Will he win the right to his private security? Or will he find himself entangled in even more complicated legal battles? The answer remains unclear, but we'll be watching every step of the way. And one thing's for sure: wherever Harry goes, the world will be watching. Prince Harry's public life, always under the microscope. It's no secret that Prince Harry has faced an extraordinary amount of scrutiny since stepping away from royal duties. While many of us are familiar with the high-profile aspects of his life, his marriage to Meghan Markle, their relocation to California, and their philanthropic efforts, there's a side of Harry's life that remains largely hidden from public view: the constant pressure of living in the media spotlight. For Harry, it's not just about managing his reputation. It's about navigating a world where every move is watched, analyzed, and often critiqued. And while he and Meghan have found some semblance of peace away from the UK, their lives are far from normal. Whether it's dealing with court hearings, addressing security concerns, or simply going about their daily lives, the level of attention is never far behind. So, what does this mean for Harry going forward? Will his legal battles over security arrangements be the final hurdle in his new life outside of the royal family? Or is this just the beginning of a much larger story that will continue to unfold for years to come? Behind the headlines, the complexities of public security. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. For most people, security is a personal concern, whether it's locking doors at night, installing an alarm system, or taking extra precautions when traveling. But for public figures like Prince Harry, it's a whole different ballgame. Imagine being in Harry's shoes for a moment. Everywhere you go, there's a possibility of being followed by the press, stalked by curious onlookers, or even put in harm's way by someone with bad intentions. This is a reality that Harry, like many public figures, must contend with every day. And while we might think that royal security is all about extravagant protection, it's actually far more complicated. High-profile individuals like Harry require a delicate balance of personal safety, privacy, and accessibility. It's not as simple as just hiring a few bodyguards. There are intricate plans, constant evaluations of risks, and often complicated negotiations with law enforcement and private security companies. In this case, Harry's desire for private funding for his security may seem like an unreasonable request to some, but it's important to understand the nuances of his situation. Not only is he trying to balance his new life outside the royal spotlight with his desire for protection, but he's also doing so in a way that involves legal negotiations and public debates. This, of course, makes for a messy and sometimes dramatic public spectacle, just like the disruption at the High Court hearing. The power of public opinion, how we shape the narrative. It's also worth noting that Prince Harry's life, like that of other public figures, is constantly being shaped by public opinion. Every decision, every legal battle, and even every personal moment is viewed through a critical lens. As we saw with this recent court hearing, an incident that may have been a relatively small disruption for Harry became a spectacle thanks to the media. So, what can we learn from this? The way the media spins these events shapes how we perceive them. If you look at the headlines following the disruption, you'll see a variety of angles being presented. Some portray it as a chaotic incident involving a rowdy spectator, while others focus on the implications for Harry's safety and legal future. Ultimately, these portrayals affect public opinion, and that opinion, in turn, impacts how Harry and Meghan continue to navigate their lives. This brings us to an interesting question. In a world where everyone is so quick to judge, how does someone in Harry's position find peace and a sense of normalcy? For those of us who have lived in the world of social media and instant news, it can feel like we're constantly under a microscope. But for someone like Harry, the pressure is not just from online commentary, it's from every corner of the globe. A royal reimagined, Prince Harry's path forward. As we wrap up this story, it's clear that Prince Harry's journey is far from over. He's taken steps to redefine his life, stepping away from royal duties and carving out a new space for himself and his family. But the challenges aren't over. There will continue to be battles fought in courtrooms, ongoing media coverage, and security concerns that follow him wherever he goes. So, what's next for Prince Harry? Will the outcome of this hearing shape the way he is perceived in the future? Or will his journey continue to be a series of unexpected twists and turns? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. Prince Harry will continue to face intense scrutiny from all angles, and how he navigates these challenges will define his legacy. The power of reflection. What can we take away from this? In the end, this incident in the High Court serves as a reminder of the incredible pressure that public figures, especially those within the royal family, face on a daily basis.